Have you ever wondered what would happen if children were promised immortality, only to discover that their new lives came with devastating secrets, betrayal, and unimaginable rage? Tonight, we take you deep inside Hulu's gripping new series Alien, Earth, specifically, Episode 7 of Season 1, where the shocking betrayal of Joe and the explosive wrath of Nibs change the story forever. What unfolds in this episode isn't just science fiction. It's a haunting exploration of identity, loss, and survival. And trust me, once you hear what happens, you'll never look at this series the same way again. In the futuristic world of Alien, Earth, children are selected for a radical procedure that transfers their consciousness into adult hybrid bodies. Imagine being told you could leave behind illness, weakness, and even death itself. For these terminally ill children, the promise of immortality seems like salvation. But instead of paradise, they are shipped off to Neverland Research Island, controlled by the powerful Prodigy Corporation, where freedom is stripped away and their past lives erased. From the very beginning, the show tells us that children are the future. But as this episode reveals, the so-called future is fragile, and the cost of immortality may be too high. As Episode 7 unfolds, we are drawn into the life of Nibs, played by Lily Newmark. Nibs, like the other hybrids, is trying to adapt to her synthetic body and new reality. But she carries scars of trauma from her past, scars that cannot be erased, even when the corporation tries to literally wipe her memory clean. When Nibs reveals to scientists Dame Sylvia and Arthur Sylvia that she is pregnant, the weight of her previous life comes crashing back. Instead of helping her process the pain, the scientists erase her memories, leaving her disoriented, vulnerable, and confused. Can you imagine waking up one day to realize entire pieces of your life have been stolen, edited out, as if they never mattered? That chilling violation sets the stage for one of the most powerful turning points in the series. When Wendy, played by Sydney Chandler, discovers what's been done to Nibs, she reveals that she too has lost memories to the cold experiments of Prodigy. This moment of solidarity between Wendy and Nibs sparks a deeper understanding of their true reality. The corporation doesn't see them as human, nor as children with feelings and memories worth protecting. They are treated as experiments, property, and commodities. This realization is where their will to resist begins to grow. But while Wendy and Nibs bond over their stolen pasts, Joe, Wendy's brother, portrayed by Alex Lawther, faces his own internal war. He wants to protect his sister, but in the process, he begins to show that his loyalty to humanity outweighs his loyalty to the hybrids. And that betrayal cuts deeper than any wound. What makes this story so heartbreaking is that Nibs, despite her pain, begins to see her situation differently. When confronted with the grave that carries her birth name, Rose Ellis, she experiences an almost spiritual awakening. She sees her own grave, her old life buried beneath the earth, and realizes that although Rose Ellis is gone, she herself lives on in this powerful, unbreakable hybrid body. For the first time, she begins to feel a strange empowerment. In that moment, standing over her grave, she transforms from victim to survivor. She isn't just a fragile child anymore. She is something stronger, and she is determined to carve out her own destiny. And yet, Joe's journey is the opposite. For him, the sight of his sister's grave is a shattering experience. He is forced to acknowledge what he has been trying to avoid for 6 episodes. His sister's body, the child he once cared for, is gone forever. What remains is a hybrid form, something he struggles to see as truly her. His grief, his confusion, and his protective instincts collide in a painful storm. And it is in this emotional chaos that Joe makes the decision that will forever alter his bond with Wendy. The tension finally explodes at the Neverland docking pier. Nibs, Wendy, and Joe see their path to freedom, but standing in their way are the soldiers of Prodigy Corporation. Here, we witness one of the most shocking and unforgettable scenes of the season. In a cruel act of mockery, one soldier throws Nibs' beloved ostrich plush toy, Mr. Strawberry, into the ocean. For Nibs, this isn't just about a toy, it's about everything that has been stripped away from her: innocence, safety, and love. And in that instant, her suppressed rage erupts like a volcano. What happens next is both horrifying and cathartic. Nibs, underestimated and dismissed as weak, reveals the full extent of her hybrid strength. In a burst of unbridled fury, she rips the jaw off the soldier who dared to insult her. The scene is brutal, raw, and unforgettable. It's the moment the audience finally sees the power simmering inside her, a power that can no longer be contained. Nibs is no longer just a victim of corporate control. She is a warrior, a machine of vengeance. And as she stands there, drenched in anger and defiance, viewers are left stunned by the magnitude of her transformation. But the shock doesn't end there. Just when we think the three might make their escape, Joe takes the unthinkable step. Watching Nibs unleash her fury, he pulls out an electric gun and stuns her, effectively shutting her down. To Wendy, this is the ultimate betrayal. Her own brother, the one person she trusted above all, sides with the corporation in that pivotal moment. Joe reveals that in his eyes, biological humans take precedence over hybrids. His decision draws a hard line in the sand. Wendy may be his sister, but Nibs, and perhaps all hybrids, will never truly be equal in his heart. Can you imagine what it feels like, watching the one person you trust most turn a weapon on your best friend? This betrayal rips at the very soul of the story. As viewers, we're left questioning Joe's motives. Did he act out of fear? Out of a misguided sense of protection? Or did his human bias simply overwhelm his compassion? Regardless of the reason, the bond between Joe and Wendy can never return to what it once was. Their sibling dynamic has been shattered. Wendy needed a protector who would stand by her friends, but instead, Joe revealed a hierarchy of care that places hybrids at the bottom. It's a contradiction that makes his character all the more complex, and all the more tragic. And yet, even in this dark betrayal, the show plants seeds of hope. Nibs' rage, though devastating, proves that the hybrids are not helpless. They are not mere experiments or pawns of Prodigy Corporation. They are powerful, emotional beings capable of fighting back. In the words of Lily Newmark herself, all Nibs truly wants is freedom and safety. She dreams of escaping, of hiking up a mountain and screaming her rage into the sky, or swimming in the ocean with Mr. Strawberry by her side. That dream of freedom resonates deeply with audiences, because at its core, this isn't just a story about science fiction. It's a story about what it means to fight for your identity, your past, and your future, even when the world tries to erase it. And this is where episode 7 leaves us, on the edge of chaos, betrayal, and the promise of rebellion. The hybrids are no longer passive children. They are rising up, demanding to be seen, to be heard, and to be free. Joe's betrayal may have set them back, but it also sets the stage for a conflict unlike anything we've seen so far. Will the hybrids claim their freedom, or will Prodigy Corporation tighten its grip? And perhaps the bigger question, how far will Joe go to protect his sister, even if it means destroying everything she believes in? As audiences, we can't help but feel torn. On one hand, we understand Joe's grief, his confusion, and his desperate attempt to hold on to the sister he once knew. But on the other hand, his betrayal of Nibs is a wound that may never heal. This duality makes Alien, Earth not just a show about science fiction, but a deeply human story about family, loyalty, and the painful choices that come when the line between human and hybrid is blurred. So what happens next? Will Nibs rise from this betrayal stronger than ever? Will Wendy stand by her brother or turn against him? And will Prodigy Corporation finally face the wrath of those they thought they could control? The answers lie ahead, but one thing is certain. After episode 7, nothing will ever be the same again. Because in the world of Alien, Earth, children may be the future, but the future isn't guaranteed. It has to be fought for.